welcome back to the Entertainment Esquire. Today we'll be discussing your Real Housewives update. First up, Real Housewives of Potomac with Mia Thornton's arrest at the airport over allegedly stealing $11,000 worth of furniture. And then we have updates on the Wendy Osefo arrest and case regarding the insurance fraud. Then we head over to Real Housewives of Atlanta with Portia Williams, who was allegedly detained temporarily regarding allegedly assaulting a passenger on a plane. And then we finally end with the announcement of Kandi Burruss divorce filing. Let's get started. First up, we have Mia Thornton from Real Housewives of Potomac, who had actually been linked to the singer Bobby Valentino over the summer. So we're actually surprised that she is still being linked to Inc. With this arrest over furniture in a unit that they shared together. On top of 2 eviction proceedings. But let's start with the furniture. So November 19th, she was arrested in the airport. Do not fly if you have outstanding warrants, but perhaps she did not know she had this outstanding warrant. And essentially, Encore Management has said that she took furniture out of one of their luxury furnished units without, obviously, permission, without buying it. She shared the unit with Inc., who is a DJ in Atlanta. Now let's listen into a little snippet of her actually discussing with the police officer the emails talking about her trying to access the storage unit to give the furniture back.
Ms. Thornton, you ready? How you doing? I'm Officer Hunt, City of Atlanta Police. You know you have a warrant, correct? Okay. You know what it's for? You want your hands this way, or you want your hands turned inside the crane? You want this way? What's your way more comfortable?
Is it possible to call him? He has the storage key.
Let's go down him, I mean.
Where is he still in the airport?
Nah, he probably left.
Okay. Yeah, where's Miss Call?
Yeah, I just want him to go put that furniture back. Like, this is enough is enough. Like, I have several emails, whatever they telling me to back.
So, in addition now to this arrest over furniture, which again, I don't know if Inc. is going to be implicated in this part of her legal troubles. They also share legal troubles in the eviction department because we're learning prior to this arrest, her and Inc. were being sued for $5,100 for the month of September and then $6,085 for all months past September with $700 in fees because they owe rent that they didn't pay, which I think is really interesting. And then we dig in even a little deeper and we find out, not in Atlanta, Georgia, but in North Carolina, they owe, well, not they, Mia owes $3,419 to a separate landlord. This is back in March of 2024. So she has 2 eviction proceedings and now this arrest hanging over her head. She also has not posted bail yet. So she is actually still sitting there as we speak. So we will monitor this closely. Moving over to Wendy Osefo at the Real Housewives of Potomac. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, her and her husband were arrested supposedly over insurance fraud, over claiming items being stolen, over what police are calling a hoax, that there was no actual robbery of their home, therefore the items weren't really stolen, and that, you know, they've actually even provided receipts so far in their complaint that some of the items have been seen worn on the couple, specifically Wendy and her ring, after the alleged robbery. And so obviously that was like really shocking. Obviously there were emails between them discussing the claims. There's evidence that they didn't disclose to each insurance company that they were claiming the same thing. So there's a lot of like smoking gun stuff here that says that something isn't right, even if they weren't completely being malicious in what they did. So we shall see. We'll see if they're able to meet that burden. The latest update is relating to a claim recently put out by the prosecution's office that they had over 40 credit and debit cards using aliases, which again, you're not allowed to do. You have to use real names when filling out credit card information and debit card information. And it's just really odd. I don't know anyone that would get that many debit and credit cards in their real name, let alone a fake name. And because this couple is so established, she's a PhD, he's a lawyer. It just, something about it doesn't sound right. But according to them, this is what they did. Well, their legal team shot back and said that what's happening to the couple is deeply unjust because they're getting all the facts wrong. Let's get into these aliases that they were supposedly using. Wendy was supposedly using Pam Oliver, and Eddie was using Eddie Hennessy. Now, all jokes aside, because I know these names seem ridiculous, it's actually not illegal to use aliases in certain contexts. And according to their attorneys, they didn't want to disclose their identity to the public when receiving packages. And so it's actually completely legal to use an alias when receiving a package. It's actually also completely legal to have 40 debit and credit cards. Although it seems extreme that even in your actual name you would have that many cards, it is not illegal. And so their attorneys are saying by disclosing how many credit cards they have and incorrectly stating that the credit cards were procured with these fake names. In fact, it was just the packages that had these names. They feel like they are trying to skew the court of public opinion before this sees its day at trial. And so the attorneys in the statement specifically say, at the outset, the police failed to properly investigate the initial burglary despite clear indications of a break-in, displaying clear bias against the Osefo family. The Osefos have heard nothing but silence from the police for over 18 months, despite complete cooperation and requests for updates. They then later go on to say, the Osefos have never used aliases on any financial applications. This allegation is false and misleading. Such names were used for the delivery of packages. They finally say that the defense is confident the court will prevent any further violation of the Osefos' right to a fair trial. And that's what I was going to say. My recommendation moving forward, they need a gag order on the prosecution office. They should not be little by little disclosing each detail of what they're finding of the Osefos, because it's just going to taint the court of public opinion. It's going to taint a jury pool way before they see a day in trial, and perhaps that's what they want to do. We also don't have any updates if they were successfully able to sever their trials so that they can have separate trials, but we do know they're back in court on December 2nd, so we'll keep you posted. November 16th, Portia Williams was temporarily detained at the Atlanta airport, exiting her Delta flight regarding allegedly assaulting another passenger. Now, we don't initially know this on November 16th. We actually don't know anything. We just see that there are headlines about the FBI investigating her and her exiting off a plane. It wasn't until November 18th when her lawyer, Portia's lawyer, provided a statement saying that she was verbally assaulted by allegedly an unhinged passenger, that we were starting to find out a little bit more of what was going on. And then we then get the videotape, right? What we're watching here to the right, where she explains that she was verbally assaulted just to turn her phone down. And the passenger goes on to say that it was beyond a verbal exchange, that she was actually physically assaulted. And so there's like a he said, she said with the story. But ultimately it appears that the authorities sided with Portia, because on November 21st, the FBI issued a statement that they would not be investigating this any further because no actual crime occurred. So no battery, which is touching, no assault, which is the threat of immediate touching, unwanted touching. And so, yeah, let's hear it from Portia and the passenger.
The lady who was sitting next to me, I was on my phone, and the volume was up on the phone. And she turned to me out of nowhere, and she said, "So you're going to make me listen to that the whole flight?" And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No." And I said,
listen to what?
"Am I going to make her listen to my phone?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I said,
This was before we took off.
yes, even before we took off. So she was like, are you going to make me listen to that the whole time? And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No." And so what was a nicer way to say that? And she said, "Bitch, you don't tell me, bitch."
I was sitting in my seat. She was the last passenger to come on board. So when she came on board, she said, "I'm in that seat." I said, "No problem." I jumped up, got far away from her so she had plenty of room. She had to put stuff in the upstairs thing. I understand that. Took plenty of time. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy. On and on and on. So now the flight attendants can't come help me because they're strapped in for this takeoff. My phone is sitting against my leg on my lap. So I take it to video to try and protect myself. And as soon as I go like this, she takes her hand and goes like that and throws my phone. And everybody sees the phone go down the end of the whole airplane. And the flight attendant told me he saw her knock it out of my hand. And that's assault.
Then moving on to Kandi Burruss Tucker, or should we call her Kandi Burruss now? She recently announced that she is filing for divorce from Todd Tucker, who was actually used to be a producer on with Bravo. After 11 years of marriage, if you recall, they wed in a 2014 very elaborate Coming to America themed wedding. But 11 years later, they are actually calling it quits. There was some rumor mills going that this was bound to happen because she had removed his last name off social media. And then the word on the street is allegedly he was being seen on dates. So I think eventually this was going to come out. And so she initiated the filing, which I always say you should do. And yeah, let's talk about what you really want to talk about, which is the prenup, which was actually part of them filming footage up into the wedding, them having this disagreement about what should be put in the prenup. So the prenup has 3 key essential things. First, any assets or properties before the marriage, he has no rights to them. They all go to her children. So he doesn't have any rights to anything before. He also has to vacate the property, the marital home, within 30 days of the announcement of the separation. So time is ticking. I think he's got 27 days left. And then there's no spousal support, which is, I think it's huge that she got him to agree to that. So, as much as people want to laugh and say, is this a scheme that Todd set up from the beginning? I know that's the running joke from her aunt that said that, it was always a scheme that Todd set up to bring it to us with the bill, what. It appears that Kandi protected herself. And so, yes, she will have to split half of what they brought in together, which were the plays and some other things and some businesses. But the restaurant's closed down. So really, I think her value is in her assets before, including her music. Now, before I let you go, a flashback to the actual conversation that they filmed for Bravo about their prenup and how they almost didn't get married because they couldn't agree. Enjoy.
I can say whatever he wants about it not being about the money is why he doesn't like the prenup. But meanwhile, his attorney is sending notes, and all those notes are about money. I really feel like...
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Good and damn well that you and I already had a conversation about how we think things should flow.
We did.
And now all of a sudden, you coming back, oh, my lawyer said we ain't gonna be able to get this done. I'm like, well, how we not gonna be able to get it done when I thought we was on the same page? So you think you should get some money?
Time out. Listen to me. I don't want your fucking money, man. Damn. That's all y'all think about is money. You, your mama, all y'all.
Well, why does he have attitude? It's not like I'm asking him to give me something. He's the one who has the problem signing the prenup, but me and my family only care about money.
This has been The Entertainment Esquire. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can find me on all social media handles at The Entertainment ESQ and online on YouTube at The Entertainment Esquire and all podcast platforms at The Entertainment Esquire. Until next time, take care. Thank you for listening to The Entertainment Esquire. Find our show on YouTube at The Entertainment Esquire and on social media at The Entertainment ESQ. Need a legal consultation? Need a lawyer referral or legal resources for your business or legal matters? Then visit us at theentertainmentesq.com. Until next time, thank you for listening.